Hi, Srini. Thanks so much for meeting with me today. I am really looking forward to hearing about what your perspective or how you feel your experience with the Elevate program went over the last year or so that you've been working with us. But before getting to any of the questions, do you want to just give us a brief introduction of yourself?
Sure. Thanks for having me here, Hannah. My name is Srini. I am a system analyst, so I do a lot of work with Java on the back end, but I also do a lot of work with Salesforce at the company that I work for, which is a pretty large company here in Southeast Michigan.
Cool. Perfect. Well, yeah, I know you've just recently graduated from the program. I guess if you were going to recommend Brooksource to any of your friends, what do you think you would say?
So I would tell them it's actually it's a game changer, right? Because like I think if you are a recent graduate trying to look for a job, like especially with COVID, like the market's a little bit difficult right now to try to find jobs. And Brooksource kind of was a great opportunity to talk to them and get involved and network with people that actually cared about me as an individual and as an applicant, and not just as seeing me as like, oh, you are just somebody that we got to fit in somewhere to fit in a puzzle piece at this company. So
Mhm.
they looked at it from like all three of the approaches, right? Like they were looking at it from the company, they were looking at it from their technical staffing, and then they were also looking at it from my level. And I think the way that they approach me is that they not only set up like a first interview, but they also set up follow-up interviews to make sure that even if the first job, I mean, luckily I got that first job, but like, um, even if that first job didn't turn out so well, like I still had other companies lined up that I could go and talk to and I could get my interview set up with. I think that was
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. No, I
definitely
think
recommend.
that's, yeah. Well, I think that's a great observation too. I think sometimes with the program, it can almost be kind of like a matchmaking game. It's not just about like what we're looking for, what they're looking for, but it's about what you want and what
Mhm.
you're prioritizing too. So I'm glad you kind of noticed that. I guess if you had to choose, what do you think has been like the most impactful part of being involved in the Elevate program?
So there's a lot of factors, right? So I think a lot of it comes down to there was a supplemental training that was involved. There's like the general resources, like having Slack community, having a network. And then there was also the extracurricular programs. And by extracurricular, I'm not talking about like involving in service and stuff like that, but I'm talking more along lines of like there were competitions and the program had like six values like innovation and grit and passion and yeah.
Right there.
um, that were available, and they had a check mark of task list of things that we could get involved with. So like if we were not really sure how to get more involved with the company, that was a really good focus list that we could go to and be like, hey, like let me try to check one of these off this week. But going a little bit more into the more impactful parts that enjoyed from this program, right?
Mhm.
I got to meet a bunch of people from other departments. So like when it came time to like, get hired in as a full-time employee through the Elevate program, to that company, like when I needed to contact somebody from security, I knew who to go talk to because I had other people from the Brooksource program that I already knew that I could go talk to. Same thing that with business analysts and other parts of the teams, like I could go and know that there were already other people in other departments that if I needed to reach out, try to figure out like, hey, how do I get some point of contact there? It
Mhm.
wasn't just like an arbitrary hello over Skype. I could just be like, hey, like, how's it going? Like, catch up with them and actually be able to get introduced to whoever I need to get introduced to over there. And I think that has made my experience at the company a lot more personable and a lot more impactful for the tasks that I needed to get done. So, like,
Yeah.
those internal networking opportunities were a huge thing. Another thing that I think was a really big impact point was that with the Elevate program, you had opportunities to meet directors and upper management through all of the like innovation workshops or the seminars or the pitch
Mhm.
competitions. Um, so there's a lot of different opportunities that extracurricularly like you can get involved with through the Elevate program that Brooksource offers.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. You touched on a little of all of it. And I think you as an individual are a perfect example of somebody who really leveraged all of the resources that we try to provide. By no means are participating in any of those things a requirement, but we always love to see people getting involved and leveraging the visibility that we want to provide you guys. And that's why you've been killing it for the last year. So well, that's great. I really appreciate all of that perspective. You've done such a great job and have been such a pleasure to work with through the program. So thank you so much again, Srini, for meeting with me today. I really appreciate all of your input.
You as well. Thanks for having me here.